I just really want to voice my opinions on government spending. For starters, why are their salaries so high? Why are politicians' salaries so high? My disagreement with the politicians is when you run for office, that's not supposed to be a position of power. That's not supposed to be a position of financial gain. If you run for a position in office for the country, in the government, any position in the government is your job is to help this country. Your job is not to make money. All of these politicians, it's just back and forth. It's back and forth. You know, I used to be when Obama ran for office, I was a diehard Democrat. You know, but it's just to the point now where I just don't really care anymore because I don't ever hear from any side on either side. I don't ever hear what needs to be said. And what needs to be said is the truth is all the money is going to the wrong places. That's why we're in this economic hole we're in. Is because all the money is going to the wrong places and nobody wants to let go of it, you know, to stimulate our economy the way it needs to be stimulated. If these politicians would just wake up and realize, well, maybe I can do without my beach house in Palm Springs, or maybe I can do without my private jet. That's something that's always irritated me, was that they this whole propaganda thing about money trickling down, and then they kept it. The money, the taxpayer, we gave them billions of dollars out of our pockets, taxpayers, and then the banks and investment firms kept the money. They didn't even use it to stimulate the economy. So it was pretty much just, it was legal robbery is pretty much what it was. They all whined and bitched about they lost money because of that whole Madoff scheme. So could you help us out? I lost $1 billion on this. So, oh yeah, sure, here you go. Here's $100 billion tax dollars. And then they took bonuses out of it. Why wasn't people put in handcuffs? You know, I mean, don't tell me that nobody thought that was a little suspicious. You know, don't tell me that. No, I know I'm not the only taxpayer that was pissed off when I found out that the tax dollars that I had just handed these banks and investment firms for a bailout was used for bonuses for these CEOs and stuff. Don't tell me that did not piss you off, okay? Because I know it did. I know it pissed off a lot of Americans. All right, because that's not what we gave them that money for. That's not what that money was for. That money was not for them to go buy a fucking yacht. It was not for them to go buy another beach house in Palm Springs. All right, the money was meant to stimulate the economy. Okay, and if they go buy a yacht, that's not doing shit for me, and it's not doing for shit for anybody on my block. All right, if they go buy a house in Palm Springs, that's all fine and dandy for them, but it's not doing shit for anybody in the country except them. All right, and that's all they care about, though. That's what the government can't understand is that these big corporations, they don't care about anybody else. They don't care about. That's why the government needs to quit. The government needs to quit letting these corporations push them around. Deregulation. These mega corporations have so much influence in our government that they let them bully them around, and we don't get anywhere financially in this economy. Why can't one of these politicians just finally grow some balls and say, you know what? No, I don't care if you're going to hand me $1 billion on the table. You know what you're proposing I do is immoral, and it's going to affect a lot of American families badly if I do what you're saying. If I do what you propose. Maybe I have just some skewed take on the government, okay? But it was my impression, what I was taught in school. My impression of the government, the political positions and the positions in government, their job was to help the American people. They shouldn't have. Now the American people includes these mega corporations, but the government should view mega corporations as individuals. A mega corporation is no more an American than I am. All right, middle class American. That's how the government should view these mega corporations. They are no more an American than I am. They deserve no better treatment than I am. They deserve no tax breaks, no special treatment. All right, they are as much an American as I am. They're less an American than I am because they outsource a lot of their jobs overseas. The solution is not to print more money, okay? And the solution is not to increase taxes. All right, the tax system doesn't even need to be changed. All right, the tax system could be fine. All right, maybe some of these loopholes need to be attended to. All these loopholes that all these mega corporations are. A lot of these mega corporations are using loopholes and are getting away with paying less taxes than what the middle class have to pay annually. My tax dollars are not to buy a politician a yacht. If you take your net pay, if you take on your next pay stub, look at your net pay, not your gross, your net pay, and divide that by how many hours you work that week, all right? And then you'll find out how much you're really making an hour, okay? Because it's not what that's because the money that you just gave to the government, okay, you pretty much work for free for that many hours, all right? However much they're taking out of your check each week or every 2 weeks in taxes, divide that by your hourly rate, all right? And then you'll find out how many hours you just worked for free. You worked so some asshole sitting on behind a desk somewhere could go eat at Red Lobster Friday night, or he could go buy a new yacht, or he could go buy a house in Palm Beach. Or why do I keep using Palm Beach? Of all the places, I keep using Palm Beach. No politician ever proposes, well, maybe if we lower the salaries of all of the government positions, such as politicians, the House, the Senate. Maybe if we lower their salaries and the money that we don't spend on these salaries, we'll use that towards education or healthcare or maybe helping pay off our national debt. No. You don't ever hear any of them say that. You don't ever hear any of them. They don't want to use any of their money to help the economy. No. They're not going to do that. They're not going to use any of their money to help the economy, because then they would be using their money to help us. That kind of means they would be doing their job then. That they would actually be doing what I'm paying them to do. But the worst part about it, is a large majority of this country backs our government. They still back our government. Even though our government is screwing us in the ass every day, people still back our government. Yeah, great job. I just handed you $1,000 that I worked out my ass off for this year. Go treat yourself to Olive Garden. I understand that the role of a politician should have some rewards, all right? But first and foremost, the reward of a political position should be helping your country. It shouldn't be a fat paycheck. That's why we get all these assholes in office now, is because they're attracted to the allure of the position, because the position is become known for providing power and providing fat paychecks. Just something's got to be done about the pay rate. So I feel like that's where some of the money that this country needs to stimulate the economy. I know that's where some of the money could come from. Forget all these mega corporations. Let's quit bugging them about it. All right, because these are greedy assholes. We don't have any control over them. And the government has no hold on them, all right, because they have the government by the balls. So let's forget about them. Let's quit begging them for money. All right, it's obvious that they're not going to let go of a dime. So forget them for now, okay? Let's focus on the money that we do have. And some of the money that we do have is these fat paychecks that are going to our politicians. After all, it is our money. It is our tax money, all right? I think we should have some say-so on where that money goes, all right? Because if I'm just going to hand you $1,000 annually, okay, I damn sure better have some say-so on where it goes, all right, what it's spent on, okay? I don't think that I'm not saying here's $1,000. Would you like a yacht this year, or would you like a house in Palm Springs? I said Palm Springs again. Look how we treat our veterans. Our veterans are getting a shitty end of the deal too. All right, and they should be. I mean, all of the money that these mega corporations are getting out of our government, that should be going to our veterans. All right, because I feel like they deserve it more than anyone. All right, because they have busted their balls more than any of us, more than any American. All right, and why is it the people that work the hardest in this country are getting the shortest end of the stick? Why is our country like that? Okay? Doesn't anybody notice that that's wrong? That that's morally wrong? Does nobody give a damn about morals anymore? All right? It's all about the dollar. It's all about power. All right? It doesn't matter if it's morally wrong. The American voice counts for shit today. It doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter how much we fuss about taxes. It doesn't matter how much we fuss about government spending. That's the truth, okay? The American voice doesn't mean peanuts now, okay? The government, the politicians, they're going to shift the cards on the table in order to please their corporate paymasters. That's the bottom line. So it's not really going to matter what we say anyway. That's why all I can do as an American, all I can do is post this video on YouTube bitching about it. The middle class is about to be just like the lower class. The middle class is about to be thrown out into the street and living in a cardboard box. And it'll be only a matter of time then before the government starts taxing cardboard boxes because so many people will be living in them. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. This is probably not going to be the last video I do on this, all right? Because some more things will probably come to me later, and then I'll want to fuss about them.